Hello and welcome to another episode of the Otaku Experience, the anime non-news show where we talk about the current goings-on in the anime and manga industry with our very uneducated opinions. I am your host, Israel, and before we get into the stories, actually, I kind of want to talk about why there was no Thursday episode of the Otaku Experience. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, at Kingtanic Israel, right there, you can see I usually try to post updates of if the episode's going to come out like a day later or come out late or if I'm not going to be able to do it at all. And so last week on Wednesday night, I put out a tweet saying that I wouldn't have an episode of the Otaku Experience on Thursday. The reason for that is because, as a lot of you guys know, I work in construction slash remodeling. That's kind of the area that I work in. And we had this really unique opportunity to drive out to San Antonio. I live closer to the Fort Worth area of Texas, but we drove out to San Antonio about 4.5 hours. And we did this job where we took out these giant dry cleaning machines. And these things were freaking massive, and we had to pull out these grinders and like destroy everything. It was supposed to take one day because we thought there was only one dry cleaner machine. Turns out there were two, and so we ended up spending 2 days there. We had an impromptu night at a hotel. We had to go to Walmart to buy clothes and food and stuff like that. And that being said, we spent the entire next day there as well, and I didn't get back until Wednesday night at about 1:30, 2 a.m. And so I was like, there is not going to be an episode of the Otaku Experience on Thursday because to do these shows, I have to get up early and start planning ahead. Not super early, but I have to be up at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in order to start planning out the stories and make sure everything gets going. And I got there, I finally was able to get to sleep, like get in the bed and start the process of trying to fall asleep at around 2:30. And I was like, I'm not going to attempt to do an Otaku Experience because one, I would be, tired because I didn't get enough sleep. And also I was physically exhausted from doing the 2 days of work, like 12-hour days each. But anyways, we got good money for it. We got paid really well. So that kind of worked out, but I was just way too exhausted to try to do an episode on Thursday. That being said, we're back on Sunday today. And here's a little update for the next Thursday episode, this Thursday's episode of the Otaku Experience. We're going to be talking about what anime that I'm going to be watching and just the top 30 most popular or most anticipated anime of the fall 2023 anime season because it actually starts in like 2 weeks. And so we're going to talk about that on the Thursday episode. Hard to believe that we're already about to enter the final season of the year. But that being said, we're going to hop right into the news, starting with this. Okay. One Piece. The live action One Piece. Yes, One Piece. We've been talking about One Piece for so long now, the live action Netflix show, simply because we didn't know if it was going to be good or not. We spent like the past 10 years or so, I would say the past like 10 years or so getting a lot of them, but even before that, getting these awful live action anime adaptations from Hollywood studios made over here in the States. And they were really bad, and we didn't like it. And so we got something last year with Cowboy Bebop, and we were like, maybe this will break the curse. Didn't break the curse. Even a few years before that, we got Alita Battle Angel, which some people thought actually was pretty decent. I myself personally thought it was kind of mixed and mid, but we're getting a sequel, and I'm actually excited for the sequel because I think that the first one set up everything that the second one can kind of just get going, and we don't really need the setup. But anyways, we got this live action One Piece announcement, and we were like, is this going to be like awful? Like, because One Piece is one of the big three of anime. The big three, if you don't know, or if you're new to the anime community or whatever, the big three in anime are like the three greatest or like biggest, most popular, most influential anime of all time. And those would be Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And so they announced that they were doing a live action adaptation of One Piece, and it was like, okay, they're doing one of the big three. Like, this is it. Like this is going to determine, if this is going to set us back another 20 years or if this is actually going to be where we start to see a change in how things go. And then we got an announcement that Eiichiro Oda, the creator and writer of One Piece, was going to be very involved and hands-on in the production of the Netflix live action. And so that was all boding well. Then we started to get pictures and trailers and everything like that. And it looked really solid. And as it kept going, I was like, guys, I think this might be good. And everybody was like, Israel, calm down. We don't know. We don't want to get our hopes up. And I'm like, guys, it might be good. I don't know, but it might be good. And then it came out, and it was great. I loved it. It's freaking fantastic. And then we talked about last week on last Sunday's episode that they had already started writing or had finished writing. At least that's what the headlines were saying. They had already finished writing season 2. Now, what that means, if you're like more involved in everything going on, you know that it's never something's never truly finished being written until they start filming, because they can always go and add things, and even during filming they can do impromptu lines. The actors can improv, they can rewrite some things. Then there's going to be reshoots, and so it's never going to be fully finished being written, but you know, they kind of have an outline, they know where they're going, and it'd be pretty easy to write the season considering that there's a manga and an anime adaptation already. They kind of just have to take the next arc that they're doing, write it into that format, and then go straight from there. And so we were like, okay, well, it seems like, you know, once the strikes are done, the possibility of them doing a season 2 seems to be pretty decent. And it seems today, or at least, you know, earlier this week, we got an announcement that the live-action One Piece series is getting a season 2. This comes to us from Anime News Network, where they say, the official Twitter account for Hollywood live-action series of Eiichiro Oda's One Piece manga announced on Thursday that Netflix had renewed the season for a second season. The video features a message from the original creator Oda, as well as a teaser illustration for Tony Chopper. I'm going to put on my headphones, and we're going to check this out together here. Here we go. I realized my browser's muted. Hold on. There we go.
実写ドラマ版ワンピースシーズン1いかがだったでしょうか。
We loved it!
ネットフリックスとトゥモロースタジオと一緒に長い間制作に取り組んできました。配信された作品を世界中の皆さんが楽しんでくれているようで、制作陣の苦労が報われて本当に良かったと思うし、その甲斐があったと感じます。ワンピースを長年好きでいてくれている皆さん、今回初めてワンピースを楽しんでくれた皆さん、本当にありがとうございます。配信から2週間、とてもいい知らせが届きました。なんとネットフリックスが続編の制作を決定しました。国明たち、実写版麦わらの一味の冒険はまだまだ続きます。脚本が出来上がるまでまだまだ時間がかかりますので、気長にお待ちください。さて、ここから先は麦わらの一味に優秀な繊維が必要になってくる気がします。ご期待ください。
Yeah! Let's freaking go! So One Piece Season 2 is going to be coming out. Now, they, let me take these back off. They did say in there that they are still going to be working on the scripts, and so they said to be patient. Just like I was saying last week, where yes, they may have scripts done, but they're not going to be the final scripts. They had scripts that they could get production going. They knew who they were going to they knew which characters they needed to cast. They knew which, places they needed to go to, different sites, different locations, scouting and stuff like that, that they kind of had everything they needed to do. They could start doing previs for visual effects shots. But things like dialogue and maybe certain things like that can still be tweaked and changed as they keep going. The thing here keeps talking about, the production of the first season and everything like that. But that being said, this is very, very exciting. For those of us who have been waiting for a great live-action anime adaptation, we finally got it. And not only that, it has proven to be very successful and a lot of love going into it. And hopefully we can see that greatness continue in the second season. And I'm just so happy for everyone involved, including Eiichiro Oda. Like, who would have thought? Like, imagine being him, and your manga not only becomes one of the most popular manga of all time, becomes one of the most popular anime of all time, and now becomes one of the most popular series of the year that it came out when it was a live-action adaptation, and seems to be regarded by most people as the best live-action anime adaptation we've ever had. So congrats to Eiichiro Oda for all of this. that is really, really cool. But speaking about One Piece being at, being a juggernaut and performing super well, we have this. We have One Piece actually still topping the Netflix Global English chart. This once again comes to us from Anime News Network here, where they say it ranked number 1 in 73 countries, top 10 in 93 countries. Netflix revealed on Tuesday that the Hollywood live-action series of Eiichiro Oda's One Piece manga once again ranked at number 1 on Netflix's global English language television rankings in its second week on the service during the period of September 4th through 10th. The series had 19.3 million total views, with 145.7 million hours viewed, with an average runtime of 7 hours and 34 minutes. The show ranked in the top 10 in 93 countries, and it ranked number 1 in 73 of them. It ranked number 2 in the U.S. under Virgin River Season 5. By comparison, Virgin River Season 5 ranked number 2 on the service's global English language television rankings with 65.8 million views, 9 million hours, and an average runtime of 7 hours and 39 minutes. The series ranked number 1 in its first week. And the series had 18.5 million total views, which with 140.1 million hours viewed on an average runtime of 7 hours and 34 minutes. They talk about how its debut went and everything like that. But this bodes super well for One Piece here, and I'm very excited to see it. I completely understand. Now, the thing about this, the thing that's super scary about these streaming things is that there's no, at least currently in the state that we're in, I mean, yes, you have some different tiers of streaming services that have ads and things like that, but most streaming services with their premium services, like with Disney Plus or Netflix or HBO Max or whatever, you don't actually really make any money from the series itself. You just get the ratings for it. Which is why Netflix will cancel shows all the time that seem to be doing well. It's simply because what they care about and the motivating factor for them is, are people subscribing to Netflix to watch a certain show? And once people stop doing that, they will cancel the show. So what this bodes well for me is that a lot of people were maybe trepidatious or nervous checking out One Piece. And then because of how well it was doing, people actually signed up to Netflix to watch the show. Maybe you had anime fans who don't really have Netflix. They only have like High Dive or Crunchyroll or Hulu, whatever they watch anime on. And then they were like, hey, I want to watch this live action One Piece adaptation. Let me download Netflix, let me make an account and watch it there. And so I think that's why we're seeing such a quick turnaround for the second season being announced. But that also, the nervous part about that is, if the second season, if no new people join to watch the second season, we may not get a third. And that's the scary part about it, is not because it wouldn't perform well, but say everybody who wanted to watch One Piece was already signed up to Netflix. Netflix wouldn't renew the season. At least currently how it's doing with their current model. Now, streaming services have started introducing ad tiers and things like that, so maybe we could see residuals coming into the frame, which is, what a lot of the SAG actors are striking about is residuals and pay and things like that. So with residuals there, and the advertisements there, maybe we could see Netflix getting advertisement dollars from different ads wanting to be on One Piece because of how well the show's performing, in which case they would get money directly from One Piece being on their service, in which case they might continue renewing it even if people aren't subscribing to watch One Piece. But that'll be, we'll have to see how things change, because ad tiers on these premium streaming services are still new and still in development and how they're doing. So we don't really know what the major ramifications of these things will be. And so probably mid next year or late next year, which is probably when this is going to come out, late next year or early 2025, maybe mid 2025. And then we can see how that performs there. But that being said, what are you guys thinking about One Piece not only being renewed for season 2, but also still performing in the top one, at the top 1 in 73 countries and in the top 10 in 93 countries? I think this bodes super well. This is doing freaking outrageously fantastic, and it's just amazing with everything there. Now, we got a new trailer for Attack on Titan, the final season, part 4. Attack on Titan, the final season, the final chapters, chapter 2 is actually what it's called. But we have this from Anime Corner. So they released a full trailer. The first part of the finale, yada, yada, yada. They unveiled a trailer at Anime Expo. Or no, that was at, the first one was at Anime Expo. This is the second trailer. If it'll load, sometimes Anime Corner doesn't load the trailers here, because we can break it down real quick. But yeah, I mean, look, this is just going to be a final 1 hour video. Oh, let's see if I can find this loading. Why isn't it loading for me? This is so weird. Hang on. Let me look it up. Attack on Titan trailer. Here we go. Yes. Okay, here we go. So it looks like it's just a TV spot, not actually a trailer. This is probably going to get me copy struck. So we're going to mute this and just kind of break it down here. Okay. Let me do something here. Here we go. So we have the Attack on Titan trailer here. Okay, so Mappa, yada, yada, yada. Wow, Mappa for 7 seconds. Wow, thanks. We get 30 seconds to look at Attack on Titan. They got the logo for 5 seconds over here, and then this for... So we got 15 seconds of new stuff. Here we go. All right, so there's Ymir. A lot of people still crap on like the way that Mappa has been animating this compared to Wit. I think it looks good. Like I don't get what people are talking about, but anyways, I guess they don't like how much CGI is in use. So obviously we have Eren here, and then we got some Titans. Yeah, because they landed on Eren at the end of the final season chapters. Chapter 1. I hate this title. Who named this? Mappa. Ridiculous. Okay. Reiner. Ooh. They're going to be duking it out. They're going to be attacking all the... I wonder if Eren, because he can have control of the Colossal Titans. I don't know. I haven't read the manga. But I mean, I know what happens. I've read the final chapter of the manga because it was killing me and I didn't want to get spoiled. I'd rather spoil it to myself than let someone else spoil it for me. But so I know what happens in this. But I do wonder if, because I don't know this for sure or not. I only know, you know, the very end. I know like how the story wraps up. So I don't know how this final battle plays out. But I wonder if Eren's going to be able to, you know, like spawn different Titans on his back. We know the Beast Titans there because we saw that last time, but they're like fighting people. And so I guess it's kind of like maybe like, I don't know, like you'd think like they'd have something to fight with, but I don't know how this is going to play out. It's going to be a 1 hour special. Maybe, you know, 30 minutes is going to be action. And then, you know, the last 30 minutes is going to be all closing it up. But in the situation, in the case where it might be, you know, for 45 minutes of action and then, you know, 5 minutes of wrapping up, that might be different, in which case I wonder what exactly they're going to be doing here other than like trying to kill Eren, which, I mean, it could be 30 minutes of them just trying to get to like his nape and then they can't reach it. But that'll be interesting to see. So not really a full-on trailer, but we did get a new look, and this is actually going to be coming out on November 4th. So in a little over, or actually a month and a half. I was going to say a little over 2 months, but it's actually just a month and a half away. So this is pretty exciting. But anyways, you know, with how much this has been going on, I'm kind of just excited to put this franchise to bed. Not because I don't like it. I love Attack on Titan. It's one of my favorite anime of all time. But this rollout has just been freaking ridiculous. It's been like 4 years of this final season. And I'm just excited for it to finally be the final season. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on here? But anyways, guys, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on the little trailer we got here? But that being said, we're going to move on into the next story, which is this. You know, Bleach Stars in Your Blood War is airing right now. And one of the things that no one really mentions when they talk about Bleach coming out is that we actually have more than just the Bleach anime that take place in the same universe. And that is this. I don't know if any of you guys knew this, or maybe you skipped it. You were like, I'm not going to watch it because you didn't know really what it was. But this is actually a spinoff of Bleach, if the website wants to load for me. Okay, the article's not loading. But anyways, we're going to talk about it while we wait for it to load. Burn the Witch. So Burn the Witch is an anime that takes place in the Bleach universe. It's a 3-episode thing. It's really short, so I recommend everybody go to watch it. And when I say everybody, I mean me too, because I haven't seen it. But yeah, okay, I couldn't get it to properly open, so we're just gonna do this. I think this will work here. Yeah, okay. So we're going to have to do it this way, like this, okay? Bam. Oh, wait, nope, wrong. There we go. So, yeah, I don't know why Annie Trends was not opening. That was really weird. But either way, we have this. So, a new Burn the Witch anime titled Burn the Witch number 0.8 has been announced with a teaser trailer. And this is described as an adaptation of Burn the Witch's prequel story. Director Tatsuro Kawano and Studio Colorido's team Yamahitsuji are returning from the 2020 movie. And so they have this. So I guess this takes place in like Europe or something, because it looks like they're wearing like, it just looks European. maybe that's a me problem. Also reprising their roles, yada yada yada. First conceived in one shot, da 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 da. So this is exciting. Another small little trailer thing, but I figured I'd let y'all know because this is, one of the, it takes place in the Bleach universe, so it's still connected to one of the big three, but isn't like a big thing in and of itself, at least in my opinion. But that being said, we're gonna move on into this. We got some box office movies in theaters right now, and I kind of want to talk about a little bit of an update. We usually give box office updates. Of course, we have The Boy and the Heron in theaters right now, in Japanese theaters, going on the festival circuit as well, and it's been doing really well. We just got reviews last week. Last time I checked it still had the 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It may have gone down a bit. I don't know. But we have a new thing where The Boy and the Heron is no longer the #1 anime film in Japan at the weekly box office. So we have this. So New City Hunter, which is something I actually have never even heard of, an anime film debuted at #1, and The Boy and the Heron has dropped to #6. The third live-action Kingdom film drops to #7, yada, yada, yada. All right, the City Hunter franchise's new anime film, City Hunter the Movie, Angel Dust, ranked at #1 in its opening weekend. The film sold 210,000 tickets, which was about $2.21 million in its first 3 days. They talk about that, and then we have The Boy and the Heron down here, which is the big story that we've been talking about lately. Hayao Miyazaki's latest feature film, The Boy and the Heron, dropped from #5 to #6 at the Japanese box office. In its 9th weekend, the film earned 116 yen, about $792,000 from Friday to Sunday. The film has earned a cumulative total of 7.9 billion yen, or about $54 million. It is now the 84th highest grossing film in Japan and the 20th highest grossing anime film in Japan, which is something that is we're going to be talking about over here. So that's the box office update for these two for the weekend. And then the big thing for The Boy and the Heron is that it is now the #20 all-time anime film in Japan, passing Tales from Earthsea. So Hayao Miyazaki's latest feature film, The Boy and the Heron, yada, yada, yada. This seems to be like the same paragraph from the other one. And this is actually his son's film. So Hayao Miyazaki has a son, and his son has directed some films, and Tales of Earthsea is one of them. So Hayao Miyazaki has topped his son's movie. That's kind of funny. After surpassing The Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, Tales from Earthsea, it is now the 84th highest grossing anime film, or just film in general in Japan. And then talk about that. So I think this is probably going to top out around in Japan because it's still dropping a bit. I don't know. I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I can't really find just anime films in Japan. I can find Japanese films in Japan, like overall, but I can't find like anime films specifically in Japan and like that ranking and everything like that. So I don't really know how much further it needs to go to surpass the next thing here. But yeah, this is pretty exciting for it. Now, one thing I do want to take a look at is the box office comparison to the first Slam Dunk and Suzume. So we have this Boy and the Heron. Sorry about my loud clickety-clackety keyboard here. Okay, so this, like they said, it was its 9th weekend, and Box Office Mojo has it at about $54 million in its 9th weekend. Down here, you can't see it because the Otaku Experience logo is in the way. Let me zoom in down this way, and we'll zoom all the way over, and we'll go all the way over, and we'll do this here. No, now we can't even read it. Okay, there we go. But anyways, yeah, you can see it right there. Yeah, there it is, over there, the 53. Anyways, so let me zoom in a bit here. I want to compare it to the first Slam Dunk. So 54 for The Boy and the Heron. The first slam dunk in its ninth weekend was at 72.7 million. Once again, I think just a flaw in the marketing. And then Suzume, in its ninth weekend, was at 90.7. Wow. So I think, and clearly it was still making in the millions every weekend. I think that The Boy and the Heron could have done that if it was marketed properly. And I know everybody gets mad at me. Israel, no, it didn't need marketing. It's Ghibli and it's Hayao Miyazaki and it's going to be so good and everybody's going to go see it. Not if you don't market it. Your hardcore fan base is always going to be there. I'm sure that if Marvel never marketed, their next movie, like, Captain America or Deadpool, whatever, if they never marketed it, I'm sure that people would go to see it in the first few weekends. But after that, it would kind of peter out because people who don't keep up with the movie stuff wouldn't know that it was out. Or if they did know it was out, they would find out way too late and be like, well, it's been out for so long, I'm probably not going to go see it, yada, yada, yada. Or the discussion's not there, whatever, because there's no really online presence because there's no marketing. The marketing is very crucial to these theatrical performances, and it's very, very sad to me that of the way that it's been handled, but it seems like they've been picking it up lately with the international stuff like that, with the, taking on the festival circuit and releasing trailers and first looks and stuff. It's like they've heard my prayers, and I'm very happy to see all of that. But that being said, guys, we're going to move on into these last two things. We have another movie to talk about, not something that's currently in theaters, but a movie nonetheless that is going to be in theaters in America here later this year. So we have a film called Blue Giant, which I believe we mentioned before, but we haven't talked about as extensively as Suzume or The First Slam Dunk or The Boy and the Heron, but it is something that I believe we have mentioned about. And they say this, G-Kids announced on Wednesday that it will screen the anime film of Shinichi Ishizuka's Blue Giant manga in select North American theaters on October 8th through the 9th. Japan Society will host the North American premiere in New York on October 6th with the film composers Hiromi Urehara in attendance. G-Kids streamed an English subtitled trailer, which we're obviously not going to, play the audio because we might get killed, assassinated. But, it looks nice. Looks fun. The film opened in Japan on February 17th, and it earned about $867,000 in its first 3 days. The film has earned over 1 billion yen as of April 9th. The film had a sneak preview screening at the 2023 Annecy International Animation Film Festival in June. And then they talk about this. And they give a little synopsis here as well, which I will read for those of you guys who don't remember this or have never heard of this before. Miyamoto Dai, a student with taste for basketball, changes his life the first time he sees a live jazz performance. The incredible music strikes a chord deep inside of him, and he immediately decides to dedicate himself to the saxophone. He has no skills, no formal training, and no idea what he's up against, but his obsession drives him to play that instrument day after day. Will passion be enough to become the player of his dreams? This award-winning manga from Shinichi Ishizuka, compiled into 5 omnibus volumes for its English debut. It is a pitch-perfect drama about the power of music. I love music-themed anime, by the way. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but but just anime about like people's passions. Like I loved, what was it? Was it Blue Period? I think it's called. And then I loved Dance Dance Dancer. I love music-related stuff. Those Snow White Notes. Not as good as those other ones I mentioned, but still good. I love stories about people's passions, especially when it comes to art and things like that, whether that's music or filmmaking or sports or, literally art like drawing or painting, whatever. I love that type of stuff, and I love it when they can make you understand and feel the way that the characters feel. I'll never forget when I watched Dance Dance Dancer, that ballet anime that came out from MAPPA, I believe, was it last year, I want to say? That one, I hate ballet. It's so freaking boring, but they made it interesting in that, and you really began to understand the appeal of ballet for these characters, and so it gave me a greater appreciation for ballet. I still don't like it as a thing, but using it in the story and kind of the catalyst and the major thing in that anime worked really well for me, and I loved the way they utilized it, and I loved the way they do it. I've never been really one for like saxophone or jazz type music, but I assume that it's going to be great in this just because that's the trend that I've seen so far with these types of things. But going on to another release date thing. So this is the Blue Giant is coming out October 8th through the 9th, which is going to be a Sunday and a Monday, which is really weird. Why not a Saturday and a Sunday? Who knows? So make sure you go to see it then. Sunday's probably going to be the dub, and then Monday's probably going to be the sub. So make sure you guys go see it when you can, if you can. So then we have this Spy Family Season 2, one of the biggest anime of last year. Is getting a sequel, and it's also getting a movie, which is going to be coming out in Japan later this year, but the North American release, we're probably not going to get it until early to mid next year, probably at the earliest. But we have this for Season 2 of Spy Family. As you can see here, they have Spy Family Code White. Anime film opens on December 22nd. And then they say this. The official website for Spy Family announced on Thursday that its second season will premiere on October 7th. The website also revealed the second season's key visual by the anime's character designer, Kazuaki Shimada. The anime second season will premiere on October 7th on TV Tokyo, TV Osaka, TV Aichi, TV Setochi, TV Hokkaido, and TVQ. Kyushu broadcasting channels at 11 p.m. JST or 10 p.m. EDT. The anime will run on other channels at a later date, which means that we're probably going to get it, on the for them it's October 7th. For us, that would be that would still be October. No, it would be October 7th. Yeah, it would just be in the morning of October 7th for us. It would be in the night of October 7th for them. I'm usually used to anime airing like the day after for us. So I was going to say it's October 8th for us, but it's actually not. And so this is going to be coming out for us on October 7th, which would be the 8th and the 9th were, because we just talked about it with Blue Giant, they were a Sunday and a Monday. So this is going to be airing on a Saturday, which I believe the first two seasons, or the first two cores of the first season aired as well. So this is great. This is immediately going to be in my rotation as we talk about the anime coming out next season on Thursday. This is definitely going to be one of those that I'm going to be fully checking out, and I'm very excited for. They also talk about the movie here. It will open on December 22nd, and it will be an all new work story with an original story and everything like that. I recommend, if you haven't seen Spy Family, go check out Spy Family. It's a great time. It just puts a smile on your face. It's this really fun comedy anime, slice of life stuff with a bunch of hijinks and great moments. Yor is freaking fantastic. We're all in love with her. We know this. But that being said, very excited. Common Spy Family W. That's how we roll. But that being said, guys, there is no Goofy Woofy anime community this week. So with that being said, we're going to hop right into the Anime Corner audience rankings. I feel bad that we kind of skipped the anime trending for like 2 weeks in a row now because we've missed Thursday episodes. But it'll be fine. So here we have this. Here we go. So we have, at number 1, we had Bungo Stray Dogs 5, which went up 5 spots from rank 6 to rank 1, and that got 7.41% of the vote. We have Bleach 1000 Year Blood War: The Separation, which was a re-entry into the top 10 at number 2, and that got 7.3% of the vote. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 went down 2 spots from rank 1 to rank 3, and that got 6.76% of the vote. Dark Gathering went up 1 spot from rank 5 to rank 4, and that got 5.17% of the vote. Mushoku Tensei Season 2 went down 3 spots from rank 2 to rank 5, and that got 5.17% of the vote. My Happy Marriage went down 2 spots from rank 4 to rank 6, and that got 4.47% of the vote. The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses stayed at the same rank of number 7, and that got 3.65% of the vote. Masamune Kun's Revenge R went up 2 spots from rank 10 to rank 8, and that got 3.33% of the vote. Rent a Girlfriend Season 3 went up 24 spots from rank 33 to rank 9, and that got 2.97% of the vote. And then Rurouni Kenshin 2023, I don't know if you can really see that down there. I can zoom out a bit. Maybe I can zoom in a bit. There we go. Rurouni Kenshin 2023 went down 2 spots from rank 10. Wait, how did it go down 2 spots from rank 10 to rank 10? I think they meant to put down from rank 8 to rank 10, and I got 2.94% of the vote. And now with all that out of the way, guys, we're going to move on and read your comments and questions and whatever you guys had to say from the last episode of the Otaku Experience. If you want to get a comment or question read by me on the next episode of the Otaku Experience, hopefully that will be this Thursday if nothing else goes wrong. just hop into the comments, type whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be related to one of the stories. You can ask me like what some of my favorite anime are. You can ask me anything. You don't even have to ask me anything. You'd be like, Israel, you just look nice today. And I'll be like, oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. But anyways, let's get into the comments from last week's episode. If I can find them down here. Here we go. All right. So first, we have one from Eli Craig, and he says, another great episode. I like having it 2 times a week. It allows you to dive deeper into the stories, which I really enjoy. Oh, well, thank you. I mean, it hasn't been twice a week the past 2 weeks because things keep going weird. But yeah, I'm also enjoying having it twice a week as well. I feel like I can cover things more thoroughly. I can cover less stories per show, which means I can spend more time on those stories. And it gives me more time to sleep and feel like I'm not rushing to get the show out. Hayao Miyazaki is one of my favorite filmmakers, and I'm glad he will continue to create animated films. I cannot wait for The Boy and the Heron, probably the most excited I've ever been for an anime movie. In the past, was there an anime you were extremely excited for, and did it live up to your expectations or let you down? The most anticipated I've ever been for any anime ever is Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld Part 2, because that was the part where Kirito was going to come back. All the other characters like Asuna, Lifa, Klein, everybody from the previous seasons were going to show up and all attack Emperor Vecta and Visago and defeat the Dark Territory. And so I was like, bro, this is going to be the return of the king of the Sword Art Online franchise. It ended up being the Rise of Skywalker. Anyways, that's all I have to say. A lot of people hate my opinion on that, but I love the first half of War of Underworld. The first core is, I think, the best SAO has ever been. And then I think the second half of War of Underworld was just so... it wasn't, I couldn't say it's bad, but it's just so mixed with things that I love and then other things that I hate that it kind of soured me on the anime for a bit. And luckily the progressive stuff has come out, and that's kind of helped me get back into it. Reading Moon Cradle was nice, and I'm excited to see what happens with the anime in the future. So it did let me down. Probably because I just, I spent, 6 months just imagining every theory ever being like, because I didn't read the light novels at the time. And so I was like, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. I started trying to picture where the arcs for the characters were going. And I started to kind of create things in my head. So it may have just been where I let my expectation I let my expectation take over for what the show actually was going to be. And maybe that's why. Maybe if I watched it immediately after without really having any time for all this anticipation to build up, maybe I would have liked it more. But yeah, Sword Art Online War of Underworld Part 2. Then we have Rhett Maxwell saying, Miyazaki failed attempts at retirement are both amusing and enduring. I'm glad he made another film because it could be a masterpiece. Definitely... animation has the mark of a master. Dude, all I'm saying, when we broke down that trailer last week, it looked freaking phenomenal. Like some of these scenes, like these running shots, these tracking shots, and then the framing and the blurring of the camera and the lighting, it feels like it's live action in the sense that there's that depth of field there. Or it feels like it's 3D, even though it's drawn, but it looks like it has that depth of field where you have that foreground, middle ground, and the background. And his lighting is fantastic. You can definitely tell, and I agree, that it is a master there. I'm happy as well that he's coming out of retirement again. But at the same time, I would kind of like, I don't know, I don't want him to, I would like his career to, I guess, end before he passes away, because he is getting up there in age. And I don't like to be a Debbie Downer, but I would really hate it if he was like in the middle of working on a movie or planning on his next movie and we all got excited for it and then we never got to see it because he tragically passed away. I would have loved to see, because his mind is so fantastical that I just love to see what the dude's going to create next. And I would hate for us to I would hate for him to never be able to share that experience with us, because as an artist, I understand if I wasn't able to tell a story I really wanted to tell, that would like really hurt me, as well as I think it would hurt other people not wanting to see what's in his magical mind as well, because he's so, like you said, he's a master. Then we have Kate Nicole saying Pokemon advertised for it in a raid boss. Are we talking about the Pokemon podcast thing that we talked about last week in the Goofy Woofy anime community? That's interesting. I would not have known that. Let me zoom down here. For Winston, 1984, who gives a heart and says, good. Good to you too. Thank you. And guys, that's going to do it for today's episode, for this Sunday episode of the Otaku Experience. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this show. If you want to keep up with me outside of the Otaku Experience and outside of the Burnett work, you can always subscribe to me on YouTube at Kingtanic. Follow me on Instagram at Kingtanic. Follow me on here. Yes, there on Twitter at Kingtanic Israel. And if you guys want to watch some more stuff on the Burnett Network, we have some amazing things to watch. So consider sticking around. There's great things to watch every single day, including but not limited to Robservations, Ladies of the PGS, Midnight Musings, K-Pasa PGS, Architects of Imagination, Let's Get Physical Media, and of course, the Otaku Experience. And with all that being said, guys, that'll do it for me today. And hopefully I will see you all on Thursday.